Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and today I got one of my big cards of the year. And you know, if you've been following my channel, I don't buy a lot of big cards. I really am not, I'm retired, so I'm really living on a retiree income. And you know, what I do is I sell cards and I trade my cards to move up to cards that I really want. So it's very rare that I actually buy a lot of cards. And you saw the last cards that I got there were the two Cuban cards, the Minoso first year and second year that I got in a trade at the National. I sold some stuff there, and I was able to also pick up the Martin de Eagle card there. So my biggest purchase really to date, I did get a mini Minoso Topps 52 Topps rookie earlier this year, and I also got the big card was the King Kelly 1886. So, and you know, I like I focus on a lot of these cards, and as you can see from the back of this card, it's a Mayo card. There are only a few cards that have the black on the back. So this month is my birthday, so I treated myself to one of the cards. I mean, a little early. It's not my birthday yet, but it will be. But you know what I look for are cards that are rare, but cards that are, you know, I buy the card, not the grade, as you guys know with my mantle and some of the other cards that I get. So what I ended up getting was this from Heritage Auction, and it's a 1895 Mayo, and I'm going to show you that card right now. And this is Buck Ewing, and this card is a authentic altered because it's been colored, but that doesn't really matter to me. That is a very rare card. PSA has graded a total of 5. And I'll tell you a little bit about Buck Ewing, and then I'll give you a good look at the card. But Buck Ewing is basically he is the first catcher inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he's widely considered to be the top 5 players in the 18th century. So there's a lot of things that he accomplished, not just as a player, but also as a manager. And this 1895 Mayo, these cards came literally in loose tobacco. And as you can see there, cut plug, Mayo cut plug tobacco for chewing and smoking. And this is Buck Ewing. He was a right fielder at the time, because this is later in his career. He initially was a catcher, and he's mostly known for being the first catcher to get a bigger glove, to have the actual catcher's mitt. Because remember, he started when in the 1880s. In the 1880s, there were no gloves at all. So he started with no gloves, and then they had small gloves, and then, you know, as a catcher, he decided to go with a catcher's mitt. So, and this year here, this is one of his later year cards, because he started in 1880. You see exactly in 1880, and then he played with New York, but basically, he's a native Ohio guy. He was born in Hoagland, Ohio, and he lived in Cincinnati most of his life, and that's where he passed away, in Cincinnati in 1906. He was only 47 years old when he passed away. And you know, he played with the Cleveland Spiders, and the Cleveland Spiders, of course, went on to be the Indians and now the Guardians. And one of the things that the Cleveland Spiders were known for is that they had the first Indian player. I can't remember exactly, but it was something like Sausalis or something like that. I'm sure that Scott Reindeer Studios would know that, but Sausalit or something. But anyway, he was the first Indian to play in professional, and he played with the Cleveland Spiders. And in this Cleveland Spiders team, this is 1895. In 1895, they won the championship. Now, Buck Ewing was traded actually, or left, and he went to Cincinnati in 1895, and to play in Cincinnati. That was basically where he lived, and he had the opportunity to be a manager there. So he played there. He played with Cleveland, and in this version here, which is the rarer version of the Buck Ewing, there are two versions of this Buck Ewing card in the 1895 set. One has Cincinnati on the shirt, and this one, the rare version, has Cleveland on the shirt. And the picture on this card is so awesome. The card is just such beautiful condition. All it is, and I don't know if you could tell, see the sides there? Some dumb guy or somebody tried to put marker on that black border like they normally do with the 71 tops. It's the same damn thing. But that's why I was able to snatch it up, and at a great price, because I bought the card, not the grade. So, and the back, of course, is black, like they all are. Let's take it out of this thing here, and let's take a really, really good look at it. In the meantime, we'll talk a little bit more about Buck Ewing. And, you know, some of the writers that knew him and saw him play and wrote in the Spalding Guide in the 1930s, when he was put into the Hall of Fame. He was elected into the Hall of Fame in '39, along with with Cap Anson. They were the first that were elected into the Hall of Fame from the 19th century, from the 1800s. So we take a better look at it, take it completely out of the wrapper there, take a good look at it. So one of the writers back in the 30s said about him, he said, I'm going to quote him, it's John Foster in the Spalding Guide. He said, as a thrower to bases, Ewing never had a superior, and there are not to exceed 10 men who could come anywhere near equal to him. Ewing was the man of whom was said, he handed the ball to the second baseman from the batter's box. Basically, he was a catcher. So they said when he threw to second base, it's like he handed the ball to the second baseman. That's how hard. He said they had an incredible arm. They said that he was, it said in 1897, he played with the Giants, and then with, before that with Cleveland and with Cincinnati. And he says arguably his best season was in 1893. And in 1893, let me look at the stats up real quick in 1893. 1893, with the Cleveland Spiders, he batted .344 with 6 home runs. Remember, back then, nobody hit home runs. 117 runs and 122 runs batted in and 47 stolen bases. Now, you have to remember, back in those days, back in the early 80s, they only played about 80 games, 80-something games. And the most that they ever played was in the late 1890s. They played up to 130 games. So I don't know exactly how many games he played, but bottom line, in this short amount of games that he played, to have 122 RBIs, 47 stolen bases, 344, that's an incredible season. And his overall lifetime average was .303. And he played a long time, and even played as a manager. So let's take a good look at this card and just look at how nice that card looks, man. It's just beautiful. This is the kind of cards that you just don't see from the 1800s. And the picture is an actual photo of Buck Ewing. in the Cleveland. Yeah, and get a better look here. We can zoom in a little bit or something here. Let's see what I can do with this thing here. Let's get a good look at Buck Ewing here. Let's take a good look at that card. It's just a beautiful card, and then I'll read you a little bit more about him. It says, in the first selections to the Baseball Hall of Fame, Ewing and Cap Anson led all 19th century players. So, you know, that's when they inducted, you know, everybody, you know, including, you know, all the main guys. But what I wanted to talk about here is that he played with Cy Young, and he played with an early Cy Young. And they had an incredible team that in the 1895, they went on to win the championship. And even though Buck Ewing was not on that team, he was on the 2 prior years that really made that team one of the better teams ever. And you know, some of the players, let me see if I can show you some of the players that were on that team, because they had some big name guys. Yeah, you know, I should be looking. I should have done my homework here, but he did play with Cy Young on the Cleveland Spiders, and Jesse Burkett. He also played with Jesse Burkett, also one of the top players back in those days, and they played together. And you know, it was just one of those great teams with some great players. And Buck Ewing was basically the veteran of that team, and was known to be one of the smartest players in all of baseball during the 1800s. So that's the card that I picked up, the Buck Ewing 1895 Mayo. And this is the rare Cleveland shirt version of it. And that card is just so nice. I mean, remember, this card is from 1895, and it has very little chipping. Whatever chipping there was, somebody tried to color it in there. That's why it's authentic. But you could see how nice that picture is, and that's really what I'm looking for. That picture was from 1895 of Buck Ewing, one of the greatest players in baseball history. And it says here he was a right fielder, which at the time he was. But if you look at the uniform in those days, I just love that they wore like a tie and everything. And this was put inside a tin of chewing tobacco, and that's how you take it out of there. So, and I do have the Cap Anson also of this set, and as you know, my Cap Anson has like a tobacco stain on it, because that's these cards normally do. And to get a card so clean and so nice from the 1800s, I couldn't pass that up. So, and it was in the Heritage auction, along with a lot of the other really rare stuff. Most of the focus on that auction was on the Boston Garter set that was up there, and heavy duty bidding for that. And that was really the focus. And there was also a Cap Anson of this also there. It was a 2, and that went for way too much money. I also have one, but not you know, that one was nicer, but I couldn't afford that. So I was lucky to pick this one up. You know, I guess people want to know how much. You could look at it, the Heritage thing. It was $1,800, but for $1,800, you know, you can get something like this, or maybe you can get a, you know, Sandy Koufax rookie or something like that. But you know, those, you can get those every day. But you're not going to be able to find this card every day, especially now with the Cleveland. With the Cleveland, that's the rare version. Like I said, only 5 of these have been graded by PSA. The highest graded is a grade 5, and I can't believe that that grade 5 would look any better than this one here. So that was my gift to myself this year for my birthday. And I'm so happy to have it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And check into the history of the 1800 players, and you'll find some interesting stuff, you know, like the greatest catcher in that era, Buck Ewing, and also was an awesome manager. He also won over 400 games as a manager. So good history and very interesting stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave your comments below. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And I'll catch you on the next one. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks for watching.